Hey guys, it's Nikolai Pavlov and I'm here with some Power BI tips and tricks. In this video, we'll continue to learn about variables and how to use them to simplify your DAX code, which in turn will allow you to start writing more complicated formulas and become a more efficient Power BI user overall. In my previous video, I did a quick introduction to variables, and I suggest you to go back and watch it to get a better understanding of what variables are. With this being said, let's take a look at a couple of examples. In my data set, which is a regular Contoso training data set offered by Microsoft, we have information about price, cost, and quantity. And knowing these three inputs, we can easily calculate total sales, cost, and then find out profit. All right, so let's go back to the report view and start building measures. So the first measure we're going to build is going to be total sales. Total sales equals to, we'll use the formula SUMX, right? And use the table sales, in which we're going to multiply price, unit price, by quantity, sales quantity. And this will give us the total amount of sales. After creating the measure, let's put it in the table visual and also put month and year, so we can see total sales sliced by month and year. I have by accident created a measure in the channel table. You can go back and also create a special table for measures, or just ignore it and keep it in the channel table for now. I mean, it's not a big deal. The second measure we're going to create is total cost, right? The measure for total cost. Total cost, and here we're going to also use the SUMX formula. We're going to multiply unit cost, sales unit cost multiplied by quantity, right? To find out the total cost of all the goods, we need to multiply each individual cost of an item by the quantity of that item. So that's pretty straightforward. All right, and so knowing sales and cost, let's now find out profit. And for that, we're going to create another measure, profit measure, and name it total profit. Here we're going to just subtract cost from sales. So we have total sales minus total cost. Now we have profit. We created three basic measures, right? And it's a good thing. And if in your reporting you need sales and cost numbers as well as profit, then you can create the sales measure and then you can create the cost measure. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes in your reporting you don't need sales and cost measures. You only need to really see at profits. And to do that, and also to show you how to use variables, now I'm going to show you another measure for total profit, but using variables. You will save 2 steps because you won't have to create sales and cost measures. Let's take a look at it. Let's name it total profit VAR, so we don't confuse it with the first profit measure, right? As you remember, when using formulas with variables, the first thing to do is to define your variables. So we're going to define our first variable now. So our variable will be VAR total sales equals to, and it's going to be a formula. It's going to be a formula for total sales. So it was SUMX, sales table, multiply price by quantity. So this is essentially the same formula for creating the total sales measure, but we're not creating total sales measure, we're defining it as a variable. We define the second variable, which is total cost. So VAR total cost equals to, again, SUMX. Sales table expression is unit cost this time, multiplied by quantity. All right, so now we have defined our two variables. The final part is to return. So what we return is variable total sales, variable minus variable total cost. So it's pretty easy, right? You can see that first I defined two variables, total sales and total cost. I defined them by using the formulas SUMX, right? And then after I create variables, I use these same variables to actually make a calculation, which in my case is to find out profit. And if we put it in our table, you see we have exactly the same number. The only difference between these two measures is that to create a total profit measure, the regular measure, we had to create two other measures before that. And when using variables, you know, we just define variables and then we calculated the profit. So it's a lot faster, and it saves you time, and it's more efficient because you don't have to create extra measures when you don't have to. So now, having learned this knowledge, let's use another example, a more real example, right? So let's find out what was the total profit in a certain country. Let's say, for example, in Russia. You know, why Russia? Well, because I live in Russia right now. So whatever, it could be any other country in your case, doesn't matter. So let's do that. So new measure, total profit, Russia. And we're going to use variables here. So our first variable will be total sales Russia equals to, we're going to use my favorite formula, calculate. Remember how calculate works? So in our expression, we're going to do SUMX. And from the sales table, we are going to use UnitPrice multiplied by quantity. All right. And as a filter, we'll use, I think it's called country name. Yes, in the geography table, there's a column called region country name equals Russia. The second variable, which is total cost Russia, which is going to be also same way, very similar to the sales, right? Again, SUMX, sales table, and in this case we need cost, unit cost multiplied by quantity. So we got quantity. Again, geography country name equals to Russia. Okay, we return total sales Russia minus total cost Russia. Okay, let's put measure in our table, and we can see the numbers here, right? We can see the numbers that Russia only had 41 million sales, which is less than 1% of total sales, which is pretty true, right? We can probably double check that region country name, and we can see that yes, Russia had 41 million. Yes, we have 41 million. Same number. Okay, good. So in this example, you saw, using variables can really make your life easier. Variables can improve performance, first of all, right? They can improve readability, and they can reduce complexity of your formulas. Once you really start digging deeper into DAX, you really need to learn how to use variables. All right, that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked something of value from this video. And if you're liking my content, consider subscribing, and stay safe and stay sane, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.